I'm Dan Harris. It's 10% Live, our daily or week daily sanity break for all of you. We do 5 minutes of meditation, which are the practices as we do it, suitable for absolute beginners or seasoned pros. And the goal here really is to give you a kind of mindfulness break in your day, also to create a sense of community. So thank you for joining us. Really appreciate that. And our teacher today is Narayan Helen Liebenson, who is one of the guiding teachers at Cambridge Insight Meditation Center in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and also at the Insight Meditation Society in Barre, Massachusetts. She's written a few books, including A Magnanimous Heart, and she came on the 10% Happier podcast to talk about that book just a few months ago. So, Narayan, thanks for joining us.
I'm happy to be here. Nice to see you again.
Thank you. Really appreciate your time. I know you wanted to talk today about one way to deal with the feelings of powerlessness and uncertainty that we're facing right now. And I think the word you were using is intention.
Yeah. Well, this is a time when uncertainty is really highlighted. It's not as if things have ever been certain, but I think at other times, perhaps we've been not able to not really take that in. And at this particular time period for everybody, things are truly unknown. Things are truly uncertain. And when things are uncertain, it's really easy to feel powerless. And it's really easy to feel helpless. And it's also really easy to feel despair and to feel passivity. And so how can we work with our minds so that we don't feel that way, so that we feel inwardly empowered? And that's really the place of meditation, because we can't control what is happening around us. And we learn that over and over again, that we have such little control over conditions. But where do we have some say-so? We have some say-so inwardly. And one of the most powerful things that we can do is to refine our sense of intentionality. In other words, we can really dedicate ourselves to kindness, even when people are acting extraordinarily unkindly. We can still set that intention of kindness. We can set our intention to really kind of be sane in an insane world. We can set an intention to be steady in the midst of the fear. And that helps tremendously when we do that. It's like setting a course for ourselves, a direction for ourselves, almost like that's our North Star. And then, of course, we're going to be unsteady, and we're going to, at times, not live up to our own standards regarding kindness. And we're going to be afraid, and that's the most human thing in the world. But when we have this sense of intentionality, we can go step by step by step, and inwardly, there is a sense of steadiness. Inwardly, we know what we're doing. And so we're not being pushed around by the winds in life quite as much, by things going up or down or the way we want them to go.
Well, with that, amen. And with that said, I think that's a great way to tee up. Let's do a little practice. Let's do 5 minutes of practice, and then if you've been listening and you want to ask us a question in particular, let's try to focus in on this issue of powerlessness, uncertainty, and the role, the potential of intention and compassion. And we'll take any question, but I think we're probably going to prejudice towards questions that are on point. This is Alexander, by the way. So I'm going to mute myself, Narayan, and you can take over and we'll do some meditation.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Yep. Very good. All right. So if everyone could just find a comfortable posture for themselves. Maybe you're in a chair. Maybe you're on a cushion. Maybe you have a meditation bench. Doesn't matter. But the idea right now is to quiet your body, to allow your body to be as relaxed and as still as is possible, and to see if you can enjoy that stillness. Right now, there seems to be a tremendous amount of restlessness and fatigue for many good reasons. Keeping the body still like this is a way to quiet the restlessness. Keeping the body still like this is a way to allow natural energy to emerge, to occur, to arise. It's very restful. So stilling the body, relaxing the body as much as you can. It's not as if you should be relaxed. It's more of an invitation. Is it possible to soften the eyes right now? Relax your face, let your shoulders down. Ground yourself in a sense of the body just sitting. Just breathing. Just listening. Listening to whatever there is to listen to. You listen to the sounds in your home or wherever you are. You can listen to your emotional state. You can even listen to whatever thoughts are occurring right here and now. Being aware that thoughts having to do with the past are happening now. Being mindful of the fact that thoughts that have to do with the future are happening now. Just sitting, allowing things to be exactly as they are, and knowing it over and over again, just knowing what's happening here and now. Maybe in sitting like this with such quietness, inclining towards silence inwardly, maybe a sense of intentionality arises, a sense of how you want to live right now. What's most important to you? Maybe this sense of intentionality brings about a little bit of warmth in the chest area, the heart area. Sensing one's desire for happiness, for relief. And sensing that this may be so for everyone. Okay, so when you are ready, come to a close and you can gently open your eyes.
Got a cat who wanted to join us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Brenda writes in to say, please explain ways to set an intention.
Yeah. Well, I think that the best way is what we just did, where one encourages a quietness within, a stillness within the body, and a quietness within your mind, not trying to push your thoughts away or think they shouldn't be happening or anything like that, but just seeing if there's more space as well as thinking. And in this space, in this quiet space, listening to what your intentions might be. Because it's not so much setting an intention, it's more listening to what's really important to you. And then out of that, sometimes it's not even verbal. Sometimes it's really clear. But other times, it's not even something that is easily described to anybody. And yet yet you know how you want to move when you get up, how you might want to speak differently to your loved ones or to people you don't know when you get up. How you want to even wash the dishes, maybe with a little less annoyance or aggression, and a little bit more just, washing the dishes is never going to stop. One always has to just keep washing the dishes. And so to do it with a kind of awareness, and maybe I would use the word grace, a gracefulness as well.
Or changing kitty litter. Here's another question from Kira. When I try to let go of the things I can't control, it feels negligent or irresponsible. My brain wants to return to them because they feel like the most important thing. Any tips?
Yeah. I think this is such an interesting area, and it's really where we can see so much conditioning happening. We can see our habits and the ways we've been educated and the ways that we think we should always be thinking. Basically, we should always be thinking, and if we're not, then we're doing something wrong. Or we should become perfect, and then we can let go of thinking, of so much thinking. And so reflecting on what one cannot control, I think is really important, really helpful, because we can control so little. We can guide, we can influence, we can inspire. Is a whole other story. And just to try to see this clearly is wisdom. When you can see it clearly, even if just for a moment and then it comes back in again, the conditioning comes back in again. But if you can see it clearly just for a moment, anxiety eases and frustration begins to fall away just for the moment. Conditioning is like a tsunami. It has its own strength, so it's going to come back. But really what we're concerned about is in the moment, can there be an easing of anxiety? In the moment, can wisdom take over instead of conditioning having its way? Yeah.
Mary asks, once you have an intention, how to practically stick with it once we are off our meditation seat, how to follow it in our real life?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing is to not think that the results are necessarily going to be what you want them to be just because you've set an intention, because it just isn't that way. And so to have this idea that because I set an intention, the result is going to be a certain way, that's where we get all caught up in control again. We're trying to control what the result might be simply because we've set an intention. So I think it's more a matter of trusting that there's something really powerful and really, really strengthening and really helpful, really beneficial in setting an intention. And then we have to let go, let go, let go, let go, let go. And see maybe the very small ways in a day that might be different. Not dramatic or grandiose or, people should now listen to me or things should go the way I want them to go. Because again, that's just control. But if we can set the intention in really kind of a humble way, it's interesting with intention because it's empowering, and yet there's kind of a humility about it as well. We have to recognize that we care, but we don't know which way it's going to go throughout the day. And so just looking at perhaps small or little ways where we might express that intention in a way that might be surprising to us, or in a way that that we discover as we go throughout the day. So it's not like we know what's going to happen, because we can never know what's going to happen. But it's a process of discovery. So setting the intention allows us to move throughout the day with more flexibility and fluidity. And then we can say, maybe I can speak a little bit more kindly to this particular person. Or maybe I don't have to be as self-critical. Or maybe I don't have to hate my anxiety. I can approach it with a little bit more compassion and awareness.
Diogo writes, should my intention be fixed or flexible? For example, should I have just one intention throughout my life?
Well, if your intention is to be kind and to be compassionate and to be and to let go of suffering, yes, you may have all those intentions throughout your entire life. But we do otherwise, we really do need to kind of let life move us. And one of my favorite questions these days is what is life asking of me right now, rather than what can I get out of life? I just find that this question opens everything up like a flower. What is life asking of me right now? And in this way, we can listen more deeply and move in a direction that is beneficial, that's wholesome.
Kristen asks, often when I try to tune into my emotions, I feel disconnected or morbid acceptance. How can I embrace an intention when I feel so disconnected?
Yeah. Morbid acceptance, I guess that probably means resignation or like a got to or something like that. That's what I'm thinking that means.
Yeah. That sounds right to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So I guess I would encourage seeing if you can feel your body, sense your body, because that way, if you listen really carefully to your body, you'll begin to feel where the emotion is in your body. You'll feel that the breath is really jagged, or you'll feel that the heartbeat, the heart is beating more quickly, or maybe even more slowly. You'll begin to feel stabbing at certain places in your body. You'll begin to feel a tenderness. You'll begin to feel all sorts of different things in your body. And that's an entree into being able to feel instead of being disconnected. And I guess I would also say it's okay to be disconnected. Can you be aware of disconnection? Because that will also lead you to what else may be occurring, what else might be happening.
Narayan, great job with the meditation and with the questions. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Good.
Really, just before we go, just want to remind people that we have set up a website, 10%.com/care. If you're a healthcare worker, and by healthcare worker, as you may have heard me say before, we define that broadly: doctor, nurse, custodian, EMT, administration. Mm-hmm. If you're in that category, you can get free access to the 10% Happier meditation app. We've also expanded it to people who work in grocery stores or do food deliveries. And if you know somebody who's in either of these categories, please send them the link, 10%.com/care. My guest tomorrow will be Rhonda McGee. And big thanks again to Narayan. Check out her book, Magnanimous Heart. And in the meantime, everybody, please stay home, stay healthy, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.